The problem with movements like MAGA and the groyper ecosystem is that they are built almost entirely on emotional extraction instead of sustainable governance. Anger, humiliation, identity panic, permanent outrage. They feed people a constant psychological diet of enemies. Betrayal, collapse, replacement, invasion, corruption, degeneracy, traitors, the deep state, and revenge fantasies. But eventually a country still has to function. Roads still need repairs, healthcare still costs money, housing still has to exist, young people still need wages high enough to survive, families still need stability, veterans still need care, children still need schools. And eventually people stop asking, who can I blame? And start asking, why is my life still getting harder? That is where social democracy starts crushing extremist populism almost every single time historically. Because social democracy, at its core, says something radically simple. A nation should actually invest in its own people, not billionaires first, not corporations first, not permanent culture war first, not oligarchs wrapped in flags first. People first. The reason this becomes incredibly dangerous for MAGA long-term is because younger generations are drowning in realities that propaganda cannot solve. Unaffordable rent, impossible homeownership, medical debt, stagnant wages, AI displacement fears, childcare costs, and student debt, monopolized industries, burnout, loneliness, disappearing pensions, economic instability, eventually the alpha male, based, cope, ratio, own the libs, internet dopamine. Cycle burns out when someone is working 50 hours a week and still can't afford a house or start a family. And the groyper movement in particular has a fatal flaw. It confuses cruelty with strength. Mocking immigrants does not lower rent. Humiliating women online does not create manufacturing jobs. Posting race obsession 14 hours a day does not stabilize healthcare. Screaming about Western civilization. While corporations gut the middle class's political theater, not governance, social democracy succeeds because it offers tangible material improvement, stronger labor protections, anti-monopoly enforcement, healthcare access, worker bargaining power, affordable education, family investment, infrastructure, public transportation, housing policy, paid leave, consumer protections, retirement stability. That wins over exhausted populations far more effectively than permanent internet radicalization. And here's the deeper issue MAGA groypers don't understand. A movement built primarily around resentment eventually cannibalizes itself. Because resentment requires escalation. The enemy list always grows. Eventually conservatives become rhinos. Veterans become traitors. Republicans become communists. Women become enemies. Teachers become enemies. Scientists become enemies. Journalists become enemies. Even supporters become suspect if they are insufficiently loyal. Cults consume purity until nothing remains except paranoia. Meanwhile, social democracy is adaptive. It doesn't require worship of a single leader. It survives individual politicians. Because it is policy-centered more than personality-centered. That makes it structurally stronger long-term. Historically, countries that stabilize populations economically tend to weaken extremist movements dramatically, because people with dignity, health care, wages, housing opportunity, and future prospects are far less vulnerable to fear-based radicalization. That's the irony. The very economic conditions many oligarch-backed populists help create are the same conditions that eventually generate backlash toward stronger social safety nets and labor-focused politics. Because after enough chaos, people stop craving a warrior. They start craving competence. And competence is incredibly hard for movements built on permanent outrage to maintain.